Welcome everyone to the Manchester City Library and our Create and Tell demonstration video. This video is part of our summer reading program event, and anyone grades 3 to 6 who signed up will have a direction packet in their bag along with their Tales and Tales passport, which is going to guide us through our exploration of the continents this summer, as well as their stories and animals on them. If you are not in this age range or haven't signed up for summer reading, you are welcome to follow along. Just make sure that you gather the supplies and get permissions depending on what we're doing that week. I also want to remind everyone that the tell portion of our Create and Tell is going to take place on Fridays on Zoom. So look for the Create and Tell Science Afternoons on Fridays at the Manchester City Library website and sign up for that. And then we can all show what we have been working on this week. Okay, so let's get into this week's demonstration. Hello everyone, and welcome to week 5 of our Tales and Tales summer reading program adventures. This is our Create and Tell demo video. So if you would check in your passport and turn to the 5th page, you'll see that we are going to be visiting the continent of Africa this week, and here into the country of Ghana. More specifically, we are going to take an introductory look at the Adinkra symbols that are used by the Ashanti people who live in Ghana and the surrounding areas. Adinkra actually refers to a particular type of cloth. Traditionally, this was only worn by royalty and other spiritual leaders for funerals or other important events. And it looks like sometime in the late 1900s and early 20th century, those symbols and kind of funeral wear began to trickle down into the other parts of society and were eventually used as decoration for walls, potteries, stools, and were kind of used like logos that we use today. So each of the Adinkra symbols do have a name and a meaning that are based on sort of universal human values as well as more specific cultural meanings from the Ashanti people. So if you do look at your blue demo instruction sheet for the week 5 Adinkra stamping, on the back there is a small selection of the Adinkra symbols and kind of their names and their meanings. There are like over 500 of the symbols that are used now. So this is just a very small amount, but I thought it would be good to give you an idea of kind of the stylistic shape and kind of what these symbols were all about. So to make Adinkra cloths, Calabash Gourds, which are kind of like a squash or pumpkin, those are also gourds. This is a specific type of gourd that was carved and mounted onto a stick so that the carved part of the gourd could be used as a stamp. So by dipping the symbol block that was carved onto the gourd into the paste ink and then stamping the cloth in a sort of linear design, so in lines, the cloth maker continues until the cloth is full or the effect has been achieved. Now don't worry guys, we are not going to be carving any gourds or having to put together any very complicated inks for what we are going to demonstrate today and what you can do at home. But I do want to remind everyone how important it is to recognize the work that goes into these artworks and all of this cultural heritage, especially when it does have some religious and cultural significance, like the Adinkra symbols. Okay, so if you pick up your craft kit between July 19th and the 23rd. All you're going to need to do is to find some paint, some glue, possibly some tape, and a tray on which to put your paint so that it will not get onto anything that you are stamping on. All right, so I have a tray to protect my work area. I have some paint, which you might want to wait to actually pour out, but I just went ahead and did that. I've got some glue, I've got some tape, and scissors, as well as inside the bag, we have some paper that we can either do some sketching on or do some stamping on. And we also have some pieces of foam and some cardboard. Okay, so our foam is going to take the place of our gourds. So on the foam, you're going to want to go ahead and take a pencil or a marker of some type and decide what you want to stamp, and go ahead and draw that on. If you don't want to draw directly onto your foam, you can use one of the pieces of paper as a scratch paper, and you can either go ahead and copy one of the Adinkra symbols that you have in your packet, or you can make up another symbol that is completely your own, or use a symbol that is just important to you in your life. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sketch out that symbol on here. You go ahead and sketch out your own symbol, and then I will show you the next step, where we use our cardboard to take the place of the wood to finish up our stamping. All right, let's go. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've made a pair of scissors, which is also something that's on my necklace that I wear a lot because I love to sew and craft, and so I decided I would go with that. And you see there's a lot of sketching going on here, but it's okay if it's not the prettiest as long as I know which line to cut, because it's a stamp. We're actually not going to see this part. It's going to go into the paint, and then that paint is going to go onto our paper. So the next step is going to be to cut out your design. Okay, so now I've got my foam cut out, and we're going to go back to our cardboard from the bag. And I'm going to take one of the bigger square pieces that can fit my symbol pretty well. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my symbol onto the cardboard. So now we have the symbol from the foam, which is taking the place of our gourd, and we have put it onto the cardboard, which is like the wood. And so this is basically our stamp, but to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to take one of the thinner, longer pieces of the cardboard, and I'm going to make it into something to hold on and be able to move the stamp easier. So what we're going to do is I am going to fold this in half, and then I'm going to fold up the bottoms a bit. So there's going to be little feet to stand on. And if you want to do this a slightly different way, that is totally fine. This is just the way I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to take my tape, and I'm going to tape these little feet that I made onto the cardboard. You can see that. And secure it to my stamp. Okay, so if you see that, I now have a stamp with a nice handle. And that is going to bring us back to our plate that I have here. This has my paint on it. And I have some of the paper that was in our kit. What we're going to try and do is we're going to try to apply the paint onto this here. It might actually work better if we smooth it out a little bit. So I'm going to take this piece of extra foam that I have. I'm just going to smooth down this paint here so that it's going to be a better fit for the surface of the stamp that I have. And we're just gonna have a really colorful stamp, I think. Okay, so then we kind of make sure that our stamp gets paint on it. And then press it lightly but firmly, because if we press too hard, we might just get paint onto the cardboard backing and then make it so that it's really hard to see our actual symbol. All right, so there we go. And see, now you cannot even see all of the drawing lines that I had originally. So there is an example of sort of this is the Adinkra stamping sort of technique, and this has meaning that I think represents me. But I also did another example here where I took one of the more traditional symbols. This one is the spider's web, so Anasazi's web, which is the symbol of wisdom, craftiness, creativity, and the complexities of life. And you may recognize Anasazi because there are a lot of tales about Anasazi and all the trouble he gets into. And here I actually mixed the color here, used the stamp, and then stamped it onto the paper around it. I hope everyone enjoyed our brief stop into the continent of Africa and the country of Ghana to learn a little bit about our Adinkra stamping techniques. I hope that maybe you're interested in learning more. And if you do read more, be sure to log those reading minutes into Read Squared, because our summer reading program is still ongoing and you have more chances to earn tickets for our raffles, to earn your badges, and to earn your other prizes, at least for the few more weeks that we have our summer reading program going. So be sure to do that. I hope to see you guys next week. And I also want to remind you that if you want to stop in on our Friday afternoon Zoom call, you can show off what kind of stamps you have made, or what other crafts you made during the summer, or what books you've been reading. So anyway, I hope to see you then, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy your summer. All right, bye!